Why narcissists target empaths first today? We are diving into a truth that many people sense but cannot always explain. Why narcissists are so magnetically drawn to empaths. On the surface, it looks like love. It feels intense, spiritual, destined. But beneath that intensity, something far more psychological and energetic is happening. To understand this dynamic, we need to briefly explore the concept of narcissism, a term widely studied by psychologists like Sigmund Freud and later deeply analyzed in emotional intelligence research by thinkers such as Daniel Goleman. Narcissism, at its core, is not confidence. It is not strength. It is a fragile ego wrapped in a performance of superiority. It is a deep hunger for validation, admiration, control, and emotional supply. And empaths are emotionally intelligent, deeply intuitive individuals who feel others' emotions as if they were their own. They naturally comfort, heal, listen, and understand. They see potential in broken people. They believe in transformation. They love unconditionally. This is exactly why narcissists target them first. The first reason narcissists target empaths is emotional supply. A narcissist survives on attention, admiration, and emotional reaction. Empaths give that naturally. When an empath loves, they love fully. When they care deeply. They listen for hours, they validate feelings. They try to fix wounds. For a narcissist, this feels like oxygen. But here is the difference. An empath gives love because it is who they are. A narcissist takes love because they feel empty inside. The second reason is control through compassion. Empaths have a strong desire to heal others. They see the pain beneath the narcissist's arrogance. They believe, if I just love them enough, they will change. The narcissist quickly learns this. They share stories of childhood trauma, betrayal, abandonment. Some of it may even be true, but it is strategically revealed. The empath responds with deeper commitment. The narcissist now knows this person will stay. Empaths often ignore red flags because they focus on potential instead of patterns. They remember the charming beginning, the intense eye contact, the promises, the feeling of being chosen. Narcissists use a technique often called love bombing. They mirror the empath's dreams, values, and desires. It feels like destiny, but what is really happening is mirroring. Narcissists do not have a stable internal identity, so they reflect back what the empath wants to see. If the empath values loyalty, the narcissist speaks of loyalty. If the empath values spirituality, the narcissist becomes spiritual. If the empath values ambition, the narcissist becomes driven. This creates a powerful illusion of soul connection. The third reason narcissists target empaths is boundaries, or rather the lack of strong boundaries. Many empaths struggle to say no. They fear hurting others, they over-explain, they forgive too quickly. Narcissists test boundaries early. Small lies, small criticisms, small manipulations. If the empath tolerates them, the narcissist escalates. This is not random. It is calculated. Narcissists are highly observant. They scan for kindness that can be exploited. They sense emotional depth. They sense nurturing energy. They sense someone who will try harder instead of walking away. The fourth reason is admiration. Empaths naturally see the good in people. They highlight strengths. They uplift. Narcissists crave admiration more than anything. But here is the painful irony. The more admiration they receive, the more they begin to resent the person giving it. Why? Because deep down, the narcissist knows the empath is authentic, and authenticity triggers their insecurity. The empath's emotional depth reminds the narcissist of their own emptiness. This creates a cycle: idealization, devaluation, discard. First, the narcissist idealizes the empath. You are perfect. I've never met anyone like you. You understand me better than anyone. The empath feels seen. Then comes devaluation, subtle criticism, comparison, withdrawal, emotional coldness. The empath tries harder. They think, what did I do? Wrong? But the truth is, nothing changed except the narcissist's need for control. Finally, discard. Once the narcissist feels secure that the empath is attached, or once the empath begins to see the truth, the narcissist may emotionally withdraw, cheat, replace, or disappear, and yet they often return. Because empaths are rare, another powerful reason narcissists target empaths is energetic contrast. Empaths are emotionally regulated. They reflect calm. Narcissists are internally chaotic. They feel constant insecurity, jealousy, comparison. Being near an empath feels stabilizing. It feels grounding. But instead of learning from that stability, the narcissist tries to dominate it. There is also the trauma bond factor. When intense affection is mixed with emotional withdrawal, the brain becomes addicted to unpredictability. Dopamine spikes. The empath begins chasing the early version of the narcissist, the one from the beginning. This cycle strengthens attachment even when pain increases. But here is the deeper spiritual truth. Narcissists target empaths because empaths possess something they cannot access: genuine connection. Empaths feel deeply. Narcissists perform depth. Empaths apologize sincerely. Narcissists apologize strategically. Empaths reflect. Narcissists deflect. And because of this difference, the narcissist subconsciously wants to absorb the empath's light. However, something important must be said. Not every empath is weak. In fact, when an empath becomes self-aware, the entire dynamic shifts. The moment an empath sets boundaries, the narcissist becomes uncomfortable. The moment the empath stops over-explaining, the narcissist loses control. The moment the empath withdraws emotional supply, the narcissist panics. Why? Because the empath was never powerless. They were simply unaware of their power. When an empath heals, they become what some call a wounded healer. They stop chasing validation. They stop rescuing broken souls. They recognize red flags early. They understand that compassion without boundaries is self-betrayal. And this is when narcissists stop targeting them. Because narcissists do not want strong empaths. They want unhealed ones. So the deeper lesson is not, why do narcissists target empaths? The deeper lesson is, why does the empath stay? Often it is because the empath learned in childhood that love must be earned, that emotional labor equals value, that fixing others brings security. This creates a subconscious attraction to emotionally unavailable partners. But healing changes attraction. When an empath raises standards, narcissists sense it. They test, but they cannot penetrate strong boundaries. They move on to easier targets. The final truth is this: the empath-narcissist dynamic is not random. It is a mirror. It exposes wounds on both sides. The narcissist's fear of abandonment, the empath's fear of not being enough, the narcissist's hunger for control, the empath's addiction to being needed. But only one side is capable of true transformation: the empath. Because empathy includes self-reflection, and self-reflection leads to growth. So if you have ever asked yourself, why did they choose me? Understand this: they chose you because you were bright, because you were emotionally intelligent, because you had depth. They did not target you because you were weak. They targeted you because you were strong in ways they could not understand. And the moment you realize that your compassion must include yourself, the cycle ends. The empath who learns boundaries becomes unstoppable. And the narcissist who loses access to that energy must search again. Not because they found better, but because they lost the one person who truly saw them. Remember this: your empathy is not a flaw. Your kindness is not stupidity. Your depth is not vulnerability. But without boundaries, those gifts can be misused. When you protect your light, you become untouchable. And when you become untouchable, narcissists no longer see you as prey. They see you as power. That is why they target empaths first. And that is why, once healed, empaths are the last people they can ever control.